Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off the new zombie archetype, the Eldlich. This is all about basically one zombie here because the Eldlich only actually have one monster right now, but he's going to be coming back every single turn. So the way that the deck wants to play is basically you just go through all of your spells and traps, and then what you do with them is actually get rid of them to summon your Golden Lord, which is the only Eldlich that we have right now. And then his effect is to actually send one spell and trap, and then you get to target one card in the field and send it to the graveyard. And then on top of that, all the card effects that you put into the graveyard, they're going to be able to banish themselves, most of them at least, during the end phase, and you can go ahead and reset another card. In this instance over here, you convert everything to zombies, and unfortunately, all he could do was summon Levinier, attack over Beldrock. Beldrock comes back, doesn't matter, because this card has a negate every single turn by getting, well, as long as you happen to have Zombie World, you're going to be getting out every single turn. Plus, you add another Elixir, so the guy just did GG over here. But we got a lot of different plays to go ahead and show off and kind of talk a little bit about the archetype. So, once again, there is not very many monsters. Well, I mean, technically this is a monster in the archetype because it does summon itself as a zombie, but it's usually utilized for the effect of getting one face-up monster and changing it to 0 attack. So there are a few disruptions in this deck. There is cards to go ahead and negate card effects as well, like the ever glorious Golden Land, which lets you, when a spell, a trap, or monster effect is activated, as long as you control an Eldlich, you distribute a zombie monster and you can go ahead and get rid of it. You're going to actually recycle a lot of the cards, so like Mizuki would be an excellent card to go ahead and just recycle anyways, because you're going to utilize it next turn, so it doesn't matter if you distribute it, right? And then also there's a lot of reoccurring cards. Even the spell and trap gives you a monster to go ahead and utilize for that effect anyways. And on top of that, you can obviously go into the extra deck if you want to go ahead and make more monsters. But again, the deck is very consistent in its back row. The whole goal is really just to go ahead and get Beldrock out, and then this card will be coming back every single turn. You contribute this, it's basically free fodder, and it has pretty decent attack over here. And then on top of that, the Eldlich of the Golden Lord over here, he also has another effect where if it's in your graveyard, you get to send a spell trap card you control the graveyard, and then you get to add it back to your hand, and then you can just summon a zombie monster from your hand, and then it gains 1,000 attack and defense, and it can't be destroyed by card effects. So you get to bring out another monster, it gets to become a little stronger. I mean, even 27 on like a Mizuki is still pretty decent, and on top of that, again, it can't be destroyed by card effects. It's definitely a deck that doesn't really need the extra deck, but I will show you guys some plays with the extra deck to make it a little bit better. But obviously with Extravagance, this is going to be a really good mix-up here, because you basically can also get out Golden Lord with 3,500 attack, and that gets over majority of things in the game. And if you can't get over the cards anyways, there's other cards like the Conquistador over here that lets you summon it also as a monster, but in addition to that, you get to pop a face-up card on the field. And then again, during the end phase, they all have that effect where we're just going to go ahead and get free cards. He's going to go ahead and utilize that Zombie World once again with the Beldrock. That's basically the go-to combo over here. He's going to be playing up against the Cosmo with the Fire Kings. Well, it's basically just to pop some of the cards, really. I've seen a lot of variants of this. I've even seen people try to mix in the True King engine. Nice little splash of cards over here. So he's going to go ahead and go for Slip Rider. Going to go ahead and pop his own card, but Beldrock is like, nope, you're not doing anything. And again, certain decks will absolutely lose to it not being a certain type. So he's going to go ahead and once again have that Beldrock at his disposal, and then he's going to go ahead and banish all the cards. So you get a lot of free cards with this, and you're seeing like you activate all your cards, next turn go for them all over again. It's a very like reckless deck in terms of like what it can do and just recover from it, because again, all these cards, you're going to get back everything. What would actually hurt this deck is Macrocosmos, because obviously if they can't banish to re-add, there's no reoccurrence here. But Macrocosmos just really hasn't seen some play in a long time. I mean, Heroes, yeah, Heroes would be probably a pretty good matchup, unless of course this gets rid of the card relatively fast and then goes off with its plays. The deck is actually pretty consistent, I would say, because again, all it really comes down to, you need to obviously happen to have like one of the cards anyways. One of them searches out Elixir over here lets you special summon if you control no Eldlich monster, you can only special summon an Eldlich monster, so they'll give you this card anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. You can see he's going to go ahead and activate that effective Unizombie. And the zombie support is actually really good that you had, even in Legacy zombie support. Unizombie, Mizuki, just fantastic cards overall. He gets that negated, unfortunately, but he's going to go ahead and get rid of that Spell and Trap, go for the Eldlich Golden Lord, and instantly 3,500 attack, and then he's going to go ahead and be able to put that red splatter over here. So he's going to go ahead and set it. His opponent activates a Twin Twisters, but he's going to go and chain it, so he can go for Baildrock over here. And unfortunately, he also gets slumbered, but at the end of the day, I think he kind of messed up. I think he was supposed to go ahead and swap them, maybe misclick. I don't know. Either way, it wasn't getting over this, and he would just get ran over by this. And zombies have a lot better recovery, I'll tell you that's for sure. Especially the Eldlich ones than most of the other archetypes out there. Okay, looks like we got some players playing some of those Light Sworn Shaddols. A lot of people are playing Shaddols right now. It's a very popular deck, and this deck can actually do pretty good against Shaddols because it doesn't need the extra deck. Although the last replay that I'm going to share with you guys, it's a little bit troll. He does go for a bunch of unnecessary plays. Let's just talk about that. And we're going to finally see one of the most powerful cards utilized. It might be a win harder card, and I can see people only playing one copy of it for obvious reasons. But it's, again, all the stuff is really searchable. You can go ahead and set one golden land, Spell and Trap, and the other ones go for the Eldlich. So basically the back row is divided into two different things. One of them is Eldlich, one of them is like the golden land. But again, you're just going to go ahead and cycle into like both of them anyways, if that makes any sense. So the Eldlich will go into golden land go into the Eldlich. So you basically have free cards all day. And so once they are all converted into zombies, let's go ahead and see if that actually hurts them, because they're still considered light sworns, remember that. So he's going to go Lumina activate effect, and then Baildrock's going to go ahead and say no to that. And banish that target that he went to go for. Oh, he didn't have enough. I was expecting a JD to come out after that, but just didn't have the targets, and that's why banishing is pretty good in this game. All right, this one is kind of troll over here. Like I mentioned before, unnecessarily cool plays though, but we're finally going to see the, where is it? This is the, oh, I didn't get to go over this card. This is Adelantado over here. And if you control the Eldlich monster, you get to choose one of these effects. You shuffle 3 of the banish Eldlich spell traps with different names into the deck. And if you do, you can destroy all cards on the field. So basically, you only really need one card to get this card basically started, because it starts looping all of them, right? And then the other effect is to shuffle 3 of your banished golden land spell and traps with different names. And if you do, you get to half your opponent's life points, then gain life points equal to your opponent's life points, which can be pretty good over there. I think both of those effects are very viable and usable, you know, in any state of the game. I'd probably only play one of it because it does require you to get a bunch of them. And again, because you can go through all the cards anyways, it should be pretty consistent to go ahead and pull this off. I was even thinking about running the card, that grave card where it gets to negate something out of the grave and you get to just do 2,000 burn damage to your opponent. If you could time it to utilize 2 of those, and if your opponent pays any life points, takes any damage, I mean, you just go for this, and then that should be pretty much game over. Or you just activate this ASAP, and then the extra, 4,000 total of burn damage or any damage, just half your opponent's life points, and then you get to heal up. That's almost another turn on its own. So like I said, this one over here, the guy, he doesn't really have any real options over here. I mean, it's still a Predaplant technically, but I'm pretty sure he's got to have, does he have Lone Fire in here? He's got to have Lone Fire. Really? Predaplant with no Lone Fire. So he goes ahead and gets that effect to pop all cards on the field, but this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So that's something important if you're utilizing your own effect to go ahead and pop everything. This card will indeed be protected. Now he's going to go ahead and go for the Baildrock. You guys get to see him completely just troll around over here. His opponent, I don't know what his opponent's doing over here. I mean, he's just giving up probably. Nonetheless, he popped his own entire board, made his monster have 0 attack. He was just trolling for a little bit. Anyways, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Floppy Magic Cart for hooking me up with the replays as well as the deck profile provided for you guys. Some of the other cards you guys didn't see here that he was probably deciding on playing is Endless Decay. I think this card is pretty cool. If you have 2,000 less, if you have 2,000 less life points, you could special summon this card from your hand. But remember, you can just special summon any zombie that you want. And this card is normal or special. Its card attack becomes half of the opponent's life points, which in the very beginning, that's, you know, 4,000 attack out of like nowhere. But again, it doesn't negate, so I think Beldrock is probably the better option to go ahead and go for things. But there's also Jekka Buran over here, so you can discard a zombie monster, special summon this card from your hand, and during your opponent's main phase, you can target a zombie monster in either graveyard and special summon that monster, but banish it when it leaves the field. So not only get you bring back your opponent's things, but then it just instantly gets banished out of the grave. So that could be a really cool option as well as the Generate Hela. So you can only control one of them, but quick effect is to tribute a generated monster or a zombie monster, target a generated monster or zombie monster in your graveyard with a different name than the tributed monster had on the field, special summon it in defense position. So that's kind of cool. I like that. But you do have to tribute one to get out one, and it doesn't have the best of stats. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. So 3 copies of Eldlich, or the Eldlich, the Golden Lord, and then obviously we got the Beldrock, 2 copies of the Banshee, 3 copies of Mizuki, 2 copies of the Shiranu Solitaire over here. We didn't really get to talk about this one, but you tribute a zombie monster and special summon another zombie tuner with 0 defense from your deck, and then it has another effect where if it's banished, you can target one of your banished Shiranu, but it's not really relevant over here. But Yugioh Zombie is the important card over here, so this lets you technically go for your extra deck options. But as you guys saw, there was a few cards that he did make out of the extra deck, but for the most part, I would say Extravagance could be an excellent card in here. You could even maybe throw in Allure of Darkness just so you have a lot more consistency in the deck. But yeah, this card is great. It just lets you go ahead and it's like another Foolish over here. You get a zombie from your deck to the grave, and then you can go ahead and bring back Beldrock, you can have Mizuki, bring back another thing. It's great. And then on top of that, we have the Glow Up Bloom. This card's excellent. Goes ahead, and once you have Zombie World, it's like free, again, Beldrock. And then we got Terraforming, we got Foolish Burial, we got 2 copies of the Elixir of the Black Awakening over here. This one just lets you special summon a zombie monster from your hand or deck, and if you control no Eldlich monster, you can only go for Eldlich, so it gets you basically started. And then the Elixir White Fate, this one lets you go from the graveyard over here. And then we've got 3 copies of the Cursed Eldland over here, so you can pay 800, and it is continuous, and then you get to add an Eldlich monster or a golden land, so you get to have extra consistency for the deck. And then triple Zombie World, just so you can stop your opponent's plays and have extra consistency for that Beldrock, because the rest of the cards cycle into each other for the most part. And then we have 3 copies of the Red Splatter, so that's you just special summon straight up from the deck any zombie. That's insane effect over there. And then we have the other card over here, the Adelantado over here, where it gets the half, or you get to go ahead and just destroy all cards on the field. Honestly, with this one, since it is I would say a less consistent one to pull off, if you guys want to go ahead and drop this to 2, I think it could be a good option here, or just play one of it, because again, popping all cards is pretty insane. It does require you to have 3 of them, but you can cycle through instantly like 2 cards really fast, and then you just have to wait like the following turn for the other one. But Guardian over here lets you go ahead and make something 0, and then you have the Conquistador, which goes ahead and pops 1 card. They also give you a monster, but the monster stats are really weak. This one at least has 2,500 defense, but for the most part, you're going to use it as tribute fodder, or go ahead and link it away, or whatever the case may be. And then we have 3 copies of the Negate Anything, and it is a 40, well, it was a 41 card deck, but this technically makes it there we go. I just basically dropped one of these because I just think it's a win harder card, and it could make your brick hands brickier because, well, it doesn't do anything instantly. You have to wait a little bit before it comes live. For the extra deck, we got the Nether Soul Dragon. This would be great if you want to go ahead and throw in Super Poly also, because if you make everything zombies, you could actually make it so they can't really super poly that easy depending on what you're playing up against, because most people won't have this. A lot of people will have this though, that's for sure. Then we have Savage Dragon, Dawn Dragster, the Utopia lineup, Castell, we got the Topologic, the Avermax, we got Saryuja, Vampire, Avendread Savior, Needle Fiber, and then Proxy Magician, and then Masquerena over here. But as you guys saw, you really don't need that for the deck to go ahead and function properly. I think you could definitely get away with throwing in Extravagance to have extra consistency in the deck. But anyways, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you are new here, hit subscribe, turn that bell so you don't miss out on a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype gameplay like the Eldlich. And we'll cover them a little bit more once they get newer support, because there's no way they release the whole archetype with literally 1 actual monster card. I know these are kind of monsters too, because they're trap monsters, but they're probably going to get some more stuff, because at the moment, I think that they are already pretty dang strong. Again, it's a very consistent deck because, you know, they just cycle into each other. But once again, thanks and shout outs to my boy Floppy Magic Cart for the gameplay as well as deck profile. If you guys want to send me in some other gameplays and you want to see it featured on the channel, feel free to send in a replay file to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in, have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.